I love you, mommy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are better than ever. I'm sitting here joined by my boy, Kevin Lapka. You're going to be hearing him on the audio. We're live on TikTok. We're live on Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're listening to this podcast. We are here. The Shy Kid is live, reporting live. We were breaking it down with my boy, Rob Scott. We were talking about Jay Cutler and Caleb Williams and the comparison. We were talking about 113 to the next when we reported the breaking news that Keenan Allen is a Chicago Bear. A 4th-round pick will be sent to the Los Angeles Chargers in exchange for one of the most dynamic, electrifying wide receivers that we've seen over the last 5+ years. I'm sitting here with my boy Kevin Lapka of Bears Nation Podcast. We just wrapped up some great stuff over there, so make sure you check that out on YouTube right now. Kev, baby, can you hear me?
Chicago creators ready to hop on here, baby. Keenan Allen is Chicago Bear. We're hyped about it, but I'll let you take the floor now, my man. It's your show. You gotta let me know how you feel.
Man, bro, I mean, listen, if you were in the TikTok live about, what would I say, Kev, about an hour ago, man, I mean, I absolutely lost my mind. All the professionalism went out the door. I lost my marbles. Obviously, I had to bring out the flyest hat in the game. The Green Bay sucks. Had to bring it out. Josh Jacobs, who? I'm not worried about it. Sam Darnold? I'm not worried about it, bro. I really do not care. We have one of the best duos in the entire NFL from a wide receiver perspective. The way they run routes, the way they collectively get yards after catch, and how they're able to get some of the most separation in the NFL. I am super stoked about this. I'm excited. But Kevin, I want to start off talking about a conversation from one OSU brother to the next. I have to talk to you about your boy Marvin Harrison Jr. A lot of Bears fans in the chat already started talking about it. Does this mean the Chicago Bears are out on Marvin Harrison Jr., number 1, or trading down to number 3 overall? Would you say it's in the realm of possibility to still draft a wide receiver in the first round?
It is in the realm of possibility. I think you have to still if it's available for you, right? I think Keenan Allen is a 32-year-old receiver who's very good at this given moment. He was a 1,200-yard receiver last year. We talked about one of his bigger games, 230 yards last year in a single game, right? But this cannot preclude you from taking a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr., who could be a literal top 15, top 10 wide receiver in NFL history, okay? So you have to still be in the market for a receiver in the draft. But, Mike, I'm starting to think of some dream scenarios here, all right? I'm starting to think of you trade down from 1 to 2, and you are able to get Marvin Harrison Jr., and then you trade down from 9, and you get some more picks, and you could literally build a dynasty. Now, I still think they'll take Caleb Williams, but I still believe that a trade down has to happen. So if they don't trade the first overall pick and they take Caleb Williams, Mike, I don't think they will draft a receiver in the first round because I think they do need to trade down from 9, and we talked about that run of receivers going 4, 5, 6. So I think it should not preclude them from taking a wide receiver if available. But if they do take Caleb Williams, I'm not sure it will be available. And I think they have to absolutely trade down from either 1 or 9 to accumulate some draft capital that they've lost now from 2 trades in the offseason for offensive lineman Ryan Bates and now wide receiver Keenan Allen.
I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. And, you know, we talked about it all year long about Tyler Scott, guys that get opportunities, guys that are in positions to have success. We're looking at 2 separate occasions where Tyler Scott could have had a game-winning touchdown. We saw saw Darnell Mooney, who had the ball in his hands against Cleveland. You and I were devastated about it. You're bringing in a guy in Keenan Allen who is just like Mike Evans, who you have immediately coming into camp. You know he's going to give you, if healthy, 1,000-yard season. Pair that up with DJ Moore, who's coming off 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns with an 8-0 ratio, touchdown interception ratio with Justin Fields. You're looking at a situation right now. If I'm the Chicago Bears, I see Nate Flash in the chat. Shout out to him. I saw the kid go crazy on TikTok already about the news. But with that being said, man, breaking that down and understanding where the Chicago Bears are going to be in the foreseeable future. Kevin, give me your expectations. I know we just got into it, whether it's Caleb, whether it's Justin, or whether it's the man, the myth, the legend himself, Tyson Bagent himself. Talk to me right. That was a joke. That was a joke for everyone in here. Talk to me about the realistic expectations of your 2024 Chicago Bears. Win, losses. What are you looking at?
Absolutely, dude. And look, Chad's getting me lit right now. I just got to throw that out there. Chad is getting me absolutely hyped. These dudes are going crazy in the chat right now. But look, the expectation for this team, the way it is currently constructed, with what we believe is a top 5 defense, for sure top 10, maybe top 5 if they do grab a Dallas Turner or another edge rusher that is still available in free agency or in the 3rd round, there's still ability to be a top 5 defense, but we already know they're top 10. Now they built an offense that's a dynamic and explosive under a new offensive coordinator, Shane Waldron, with the additions of Gerald Everett, DeAndre Swift, and depth at the offensive line position. Mike, I don't care who the quarterback is. If it's Caleb Williams or Justin Fields, we're not going to talk about that in the comments, guys. We don't got to divide the fan base here, because we can come together on one thing, that no matter who the quarterback is, this is a team that is ready and should win at least 10 games next year. As Nate comes in here, Nate, am I cooking right now? We win in 10 games or at least. That's the floor, Nate. We're in 16.
Come on, Nate. Nate, baby. Talk to me, man. What were you thinking, man? Where were you when it happened? I was right there with you, bro. We were talking about Caleb Williams and Jay Cutler, and I saw the news chat was going crazy about it. I mean, where are you at right now? We just talked to Kev about everything going down with Marvin Harrison Jr. How do you feel about the Bears? Yeah, you're good. You're good. Oh, say it again. How do you feel about right now? We just talked about Kevin. Talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. I know you were huge on him. We were all huge on him. We're JF1 supporters in this chat. Bringing in Keenan Allen, what do you think the Bears do with 1 and 9?
Well, the 9th pick, I have no idea what they're doing. I feel like they should go O-line. But the first pick, I mean, you know what I think. I think they need to trade down. I think they need to draft Marvin Harrison. I think they need to not draft Caleb Williams. I don't understand resetting for any reason. I think it's the dumbest thing. I'm sick of getting, not from you, I'm sick of getting asked this question with people who actually think that I would prefer Caleb Williams in any world. Like, they're like, oh, do you really believe that? Like, I know the stuff on TikTok is crazy. No, that is me. I think that Justin Fields is winning MVP next year if he's on the Bears with this team.
Of course.
Like, we have it. And if Justin Fields doesn't pan out, why don't we sign a veteran next year? The year following that.
I'm with it.
With a Super Bowl team. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
I'm with it. I'm with it. You know, Kevin here, I don't know if you checked out Kev Bears Nation podcast. He does great things. He's a OSU legend himself, so he's been huge on Justin Fields since day one. But Kev, I want to throw this one to you because we talked about it on the other pod. Who's wearing 13 in 2024? Tyler Scott, Caleb Williams, or Keenan Allen? Who's wearing 13 in 2024?
Oh, God. Yeah. I'm seeing that, man. Hey, neither of them. Tyler Scott. He's taking it.
Without a doubt.
It's an interesting case to monitor with the whole number thing, but it's not going to matter if they draft Caleb Williams. Look, I mean, and I've said this on Bears Nation podcast. It does not matter. It does not matter.
You, but I can hear Bears Nation. I don't know.
I can hear it.
Join real quick.
Yeah, hold on.
Because we weren't having that earlier, were we, Kev? Yeah, most definitely.
Is there echo now?
I don't know. I don't hear an echo. I think it was just Nate.
I think there was an echo with Nate, so we'll get him back in here real quick. But
where's Nate? How do I re-add Nate? There he is.
Now. He said we're good now.
Bet.
So here is what's going on with this regarding Caleb Williams, and this is what I said. So if you are bringing in Caleb Williams, The expectation is incredibly high. It was already high, and the pressure's already high because you are the quarterback of the Chicago Bears.
Right.
We talked about this. But when you walk into the situation, it is the best situation a number one pick has ever walked into. The expectations are even higher. The pressure's even higher. So this is a very tall task for Caleb Williams if he were to be a member of the Chicago Bears, and it is extremely, incredibly hard for him to handle that. That is just, it's the fact of the matter.
Yeah.
Is that he has to now approach this with the pressure of being a Chicago Bears quarterback in this city with the criticism that you get as a part of this media market.
Yeah.
Right? And then you have to pair that with the fact that, look, this team's ready to win now. We're not wasting time on a 32-year-old Keenan Allen, right? We're not wasting time with some of the other players we have in expiring contracts.
Right.
The time is now to win. So that puts an immense amount of pressure on Caleb Williams, Mike. It really does. So the expectations are there. And look, if they don't win 10 games with Caleb Williams as the quarterback, we're having quarterback conversations next year. That might be too quick to say.
No,
but it will be deemed a failure. It will be deemed a failure if they do not win 10 games
Right.
this year. I'm sorry, that's the expectation with the way this team is built. It just is.
For sure. I got my guy in here, Luke Smith. I know you remember him from college baseball, absolute monster. He's been a big supporter of Justin Fields. He's been a big believer in Justin Fields, but he also believes that you can't overthink this pick. You need to trade for Caleb Williams and draft Dallas Turner at 9. I'm with you at 9. Kevin and I just had this conversation behind the scenes. I think you didn't get a top premier pass rusher in Danielle Hunter through free agency. You need to pair somebody up with Montez Sweat. We saw Yannick Ngakoue, who was solid in spurts, but wasn't able to put together a full season. And I don't expect him to be back in 2024, but I'm excited about it. I hear some people saying Chase Young after bringing in Keenan Allen. I know Kevin said the financials he's going to figure out later, but there is no realm of possibility to me to one where Chase Young takes less than $5 million on a 1-year deal, and two, where the Bears can afford to bring him on anything bigger than that. So I don't see that reasonably happening. I know my guy Luke's talking about we need to take Caleb, but I will say this, no matter who is the Chicago Bears quarterback in 2024, there is no room for failure on both. And Kev, I haven't heard you talk about this. This is the biggest, if not the most intense challenge of Matt Eberflus's NFL career. If Matt Eberflus does not make the playoffs this year, you're fucking gone. That's just what it is. I'm sorry. I don't care, bro. Like, oh, I brought in Shane Waldron for help. Cool. Like, I really don't care. We had half a season of a good defense. The last couple years, they haven't been great. Obviously, it was a rebuilding team, so I'm not going to throw too much into account, but this is the year. We saw Dan Campbell take strides. We've seen Nick Sirianni take strides prior to this past year. We've seen them be able to put together great quality wins. So I'm sitting here today telling you this, whether it's Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, or some dude off the street, I don't care. At the end of the day, this is the biggest test for Matt Eberflus if the Chicago Bears do not make the playoffs with Sam Darnold as QB1 of the Minnesota Vikings and potentially J.J. McCarthy as his backup. I mean, come on, Kev. You have to sit up here today and say there is no potential chance of you saying this is a rebuilding year. Not a shot.
Nope. That cannot be the expectation. That cannot be the standard. It just can't. I know that was maybe supposed to be the approach, right, when you enter the offseason as well. This is, the Super Bowl window hasn't opened yet, right? Well, guess what? I think it might be open. And I'm not saying, I'm not saying the Bears should win the Super Bowl next year, but if you make it to the playoffs, guess what? You have a chance to win the Super Bowl. So if you make the playoffs, your Super Bowl window is theoretically open, right? That's the technical aspect of it. And with this team, you should make the playoffs. Thus, your Super Bowl window is open now. It is. This is the start of it. There is no more waiting. There is no more, next year we'll spend more money. And next year, as long as we win 2 more games this year, we win 9 games, it's growth. No. This is not what good teams do. Good teams take that lead. Good teams make that ascension. Look what the Texans did last year. This is your time to win now. And it's not an overreaction. It's not. It's not overhyped from what we've just seen with the Keenan Allen trade. This is legitimate. And if you want a sample size, look at what the Bears were the latter half of last year. That defense was keeping them in every game, proving that they're a top 5 defense in the NFL. The offense had its struggles, but we're still in games. We're still beating good teams. We're still playing well, playing good football. And they were showing positive progression as the year went on. It's not like there was a negative progression that led you to believe that, okay, now we have to come back up. We already saw the ascension. They already went from 3 to 7 wins. Now you take that from 7 to 11.
Right.
That is exactly what you do. And you have done that now this offseason. And you've done that with the extension of Jalen Johnson and the trade for Montez Sweat last year, which was one of the key things of this offseason that people don't really mention as we talk about, free agency moves or ways to build a team. So that's the expectation, Mike. This is not a rebuild. This is not, wait, no. The time is now.
Right.
And I know we're impatient as Bears fans. We are. Admittedly, I am, and you are too. And everyone in the chat is. We are impatient because we haven't seen this from a Bears team in so long. We haven't seen a playoff win in a very long time. So, no excuses for whoever it is.
I agree.
Matt Eberflus. I mean, sure, excuses will be made for Caleb Williams because he's a rookie, and that just comes with being a rookie. But, Mike, again, what did we say on the podcast just 20 minutes ago? If you've set this standard so high for yourself, and you've said you can do all the things Patrick Mahomes does, and you're not going to give your medicals to 32 teams because not 32 teams can draft you because you're that good,
right,
all these different things, then you better live up to the billing. And if he does live up to the billing, then he will be a phenomenal quarterback this year, and the Bears will be 8-11 wins.
And I want to say something, and I don't want people to take this the wrong way. I am not a Caleb Williams fanboy whatsoever. I've been Team JF1 from the beginning because I believe in the mentality and I believe in what he can bring to this table. But I will say this. If Caleb Williams is who people believe he can be, a Patrick Mahomes-esque player, he will go down as a top 3 Chicago Bear of all time because of the situation that he is currently in. If you are Patrick Mahomes, if you put Patrick Mahomes on this current Chicago Bears roster, Kevin, what's the expectation?
If you put Patrick Mahomes on this roster,
exactly.
The Super Bowl.
So that's if that's who you can be, you have the intangibles. You're not going to be better than Walter Payton. Sweetness is always one. You know what I mean? There's going to be levels to it. There's going to be levels, of course. But you have the intangibles to immediately, in the next 4 years, go down as one of the greatest Bears quarterbacks of all time. And that's not a steep list. You know what I mean? We're looking at the Rex Grossmans, the Kyle Ortons, the David Fowles, and all these other the Josh McCowns of the world. But at the end of the day, if this works out, Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, DeAndre Swift, Khalil Herbert, a new revamped offensive line with the most depth we've seen since the early 2000s. Kev, this is a situation right now, throw in a top 5 defense. You're talking about an NFC championship appearance immediately, whether it's Justin Fields or Caleb Williams. I understand a lot of people believe Justin doesn't have that it factor. I'll tell you what, I have seen Justin Fields have that it factor in college. And I've seen Caleb Williams have that it factor in college as well. The NFL is a different beast. It's a different monster. So I can't sit up here today and say that Caleb Williams has that it factor either. You don't know until you know. And I still don't know about Fields because I haven't seen a perfect situation. If Fields is still out here throwing 150 yards a game with Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, and Cole Kmet, Kev, I think you and I can both agree that maybe it's just not working. You know what I mean? Especially when you throw in Shane Waldron. But right now, I think where I'm at is we're going to find out in the next 6 days what happens with the pro day and what happens with Caleb Williams. And I'm likely expecting at some point a decision to be vocally made by Ryan Poles. I don't think he'll wait all the way up to April 25th to have those conversations with the media. I think we'll have an idea of what's going to happen, whether he physically says it or not, or vocally, I should say. But I will say this, at the end of the day, like we talked about, this is the year of the Chicago Bears. It's not the year of the dragon. It's not the year of the sheep. It's not the year of the rabbit. This is the year of the Bears, baby. And I'm hype about it. I'm excited about it. I know you got so much other content to make. Unless you're ready to rock, if you want to be here, it's perfectly fine. We still rock, and make sure you give Kev some love as well. Bears Nation podcast, they do amazing things over there. We just wrapped up a video with them not too long ago, about 30 minutes ago. We did a Keenan Allen breakdown on YouTube. You can check out them and a far more handsome man with a more beautiful beard, kind of like Keenan Allen, and Jake Hassan, who does amazing things as well. But he's with Keenan Allen right now, picking him up at the airport, so he couldn't be on the pod. But man, so I want to talk to you a little bit about something as we continue talking about Keenan. I want to talk about Gerald, because young Gerald, the man, the myth, the legend himself, from the Chargers. The Bears are very fiending on that. We smoking that Chargers pack right now, baby. We got your boys. If we would have got Eckler, we would have just been the Los Angeles Bears. But, for you right now, what is the expectation? You bring in Gerald Everett. He's going to be pass blocking for the majority of the time. You bring in DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, a revamped offensive line. What are your expectations for Cole Kmet in 2024?
I got good expectations from Cole Kmet. Hold on, we got somebody some things in the chat I want to address before you
For sure.
my question. We were not saying that Caleb Williams is going to be Patrick Mahomes. We are not the ones saying that. All right, we are not the ones that are making that comparison.
Sure.
And to me, that's the most flawed comparison that you can make, right? Because he is one of one. And you may not see another quarterback that's like Patrick Mahomes for the next 50, 60, 70 years, right? Like he's that good, all right? But the point is this, that if this is Caleb Williams doing, if he is setting himself up to be as good as he thinks he is, then you can't make excuses if things go awry this year with the way this team is constructed. That's all we're saying. And that's an objective statement, no matter how you feel about the quarterback. Everyone in the Chicago Bears fan base should get on board with that. That this team, the way it's built right now, is ready to win. And if you don't win this year, then it's somewhat of a failure. You have to take a good look at the mirror. I'm not saying you tear it down to the studs, and I'm not saying it's the end of the world if they don't win those things.
Right.
But you got to take a real good look at the mirror about what you did, because this is a team that should win those games. Back to your question about Cole Kmet, his role has been established on this team, right? We know what he is. He's a great red zone threat. He's a phenomenal blocker, and he's a guy that can go up and get the football, but he's just not going to be a guy that's moved around too much on the offense. That's going to be Gerald Everett's role. He's going to be the guy that's going to get the yards after the catch, and he's going to be a great target for either Caleb Williams or Justin Fields as a guy who can get some extra yards and move around in 12 personnel, which is what Shane Waldron loves to do. So that's why they had to get that tight end too, because here in Chicago, we've been waiting for that strong two tight end set for years. Mike.
Yeah.
We tried with Robert Tonyan. We tried with Jesper Horsted. We tried with Jimmy Graham.
Don't forget Trey Burton and Adam Shaheen. We tried that. You know what I mean? Like Trey Burton and Adam Shaheen. Come on, baby. Don't forget.
Don't forget the guy. Oh my God. He was
This is the best duo though.
Wasn't that his nickname?
That was Baby Gronk. But I'll tell you what, the craziest part wasn't he a better college basketball player than he was a college football player? Like that was the craziest. Yeah, that's what I've heard. But I completely agree with you. I think that's exactly where we're at right now, and we're not ducking the chat whatsoever. I understand where everybody's coming from. A lot of people are with Fields, a lot of people are with Caleb. But I will say this: if you guys are joining the community, or you guys are new here, you just smack that follow button, whatever it is. We are going to give you guys our takes every single day. We're not going to be riding out with whatever Mel Kiper or whatever Adam Schefter says. We're giving you our honest opinions here. So if you're new here, I appreciate you guys for hitting that follow button. I appreciate you subscribing to the Shy Kid or at Bears Nation Podcast. We're going to be going live every single day, doing content, making videos for you guys. I'm really excited to see what this season and this next week is going to look like. But at the end of the day, for me, man, I think what it comes down to is this. The perfect situation, Kevin, is what we've been talking about. We want to do right by Justin Fields. So I saw somebody in the chat just asked, what is the perfect situation for Justin Fields? We heard on March 2nd. We just talked about this on the pod the other night about Justin Fields and Ryan Poles' relationship and how Poles wants to do right by him. Now we know Russell Wilson is a Pittsburgh Steeler. The Atlanta Falcons just got Big Kirko. He's got his Dirty Bird chain already. I love seeing that today with him and his little shorties. That was awesome. But, those were the two big names. Those are the two big names, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Atlanta Falcons, that were interested in Justin Fields. So the question, Kev, to you, what are you looking at as doing right by Justin Fields, and what does that look like? Because, Kev, I can look at that and say, okay, maybe we put him in a good situation before the season starts. Or I could also say getting him Keenan Allen, DeAndre Swift, and Gerald Everett is doing right by Justin Fields. So you can look at both sides of the coin. Where are you at right now?
I'll tell you right now, Mike. I'll tell you right now. We've read too far into that comment. This is this is one sentence from the general manager of the Bears that has literally driven the last 4 weeks of talk about the Chicago Bears. And I'll tell you this: his intent may have been do right by Justin, right? Like,
right.
Obviously, you want to do right by all of your players. Justin has done nothing to not earn that, right? He earns, whether it's a starting job here or somewhere else or a good situation, he has earned that because he puts his head down, he goes to work, he's a great guy, great leader, great character guy. But at the end of the day, Mike, you do not have to appease him. You don't. So they are holding on to him because they like him. And at the end of the day, if they decide to move with Caleb and they have to trade Justin to a team that has a starting quarterback and he's a backup there, then that's so be it. That's the NFL.
Right.
I want Justin, I love Justin. I went to Ohio State. I love Justin Fields, right? I wanted to be a starter somewhere. And of course, they're going to try to do right by him. But you have to think about this position that they haven't got right for the entirety of the franchise, and you have to do your due diligence. Are people saying, did I say two sentences? Did I say something wrong?
No, they're basically saying it's only one sentence. You know what I mean? And it was, but they're basically saying that I don't know. I think they're clowning you in the chat, but
Yeah, you have to do your due diligence, and before you do right by Justin Fields, you have to do right by the Chicago Bears. And
Right.
Make sure that what you're doing is right. And at the end of the day, maybe doing right by Justin Fields is keeping him as the quarterback.
It's possible.
Maybe rubbed the wrong way by Caleb. You just don't know that. But I would rather them not just do right by Justin Fields and trade him immediately to get him out of here versus do their due diligence on Caleb and keep Fields around so they do have that backup plan. So
For sure.
Mike, I think we have taken that sentence way too far. Into the conversation.
Right.
I just think we've overthought it.
No, I most definitely agree with you on that front because I think it's just like saying if you're gonna lose your job, you know what I mean, and somebody wants to do right by you, hey, maybe we give them a notice beforehand. Here's your 2 weeks, whatever. You're leaving a job, you're going to another company. You're gonna give your 2 weeks because you want to do right by the company that's done right by you, and that's the same thing. This is a business, you know what I mean. They don't want to just throw him into the wind 2 weeks before training camp starts. You know what I mean? You don't want to throw him to a new organization on a contract year in the middle of the season. You know what I mean? You don't want to trade him to the Denver Broncos at the trade deadline and put him in a shitty situation where he doesn't have a single wide receiver. And that's really what it comes down to. So I'm excited about it. Leo says we need JJ McCarthy. Leo, that is the furthest thing from the truth. But, I think at the end of the day, I saw this other comment that says, how many chances are we going to give Justin Fields? And to me, that's where I agree. I agree with that statement, though. You know what I mean? And in a spurt, it's like, how many chances, how many excuses are you going to make? You know what I mean? And that's perfectly fine. This is it. To answer your question, I'm not going to duck it. I'm not going to hide from it. If this is Justin Fields' job in 2024 as a starting quarterback of the Chicago Bears, this is it. This is your chance to show the league, 31 teams, that whether I'm a Chicago Bear or not, I am a franchise quarterback in this league. That's what Justin Fields is doing right now. That's what the Chicago Bears are looking to do. I'm expecting Justin Fields to be the quarterback of the foreseeable future. But again, anything can happen. And I'm a Bears fan first. That's what I've always expressed. Kevin is too. We've gone through Jay Cutler to Sexy Rexy to Kyle Orton to Josh McCown to Dave Fells to Nick Foles, Andy Dalton, Justin Fields, Mitch Trubisky. We've done everything around the moon. So I don't care if we have another quarterback switch. As long as these Chicago Bears are winning fucking football games, it's bear fucking down every single day, every single Sunday. So that's really what it is. Somebody said, Young says Cutler better than Fields. Hot take, insanely hot. Two completely different players, but I definitely hear what you're saying. But I'm excited about it. I'm excited about what this means for the Chicago Bears and how they're going to continue to develop. Kev, man, I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you tuning in. Again, I'm going to continue saying it. Make sure you check into Bears Nation Podcast. Make sure you check in with them. If you're new here, smack that follow button because what are you doing? We're talking about Bears every single day, live in the morning, live at night. We don't sleep, giving you guys everything up to date Chicago Bears. But I'm reading a few more comments. Somebody said, where is D'Onta Foreman? As of today, I would suggest that D'Onta Foreman is not going to be a Chicago Bear in 2024. You're likely rocking out with Swift, Roshan, and Khalil. Kev, do you feel any different about that? I think you're muted, buddy.
Sorry.
You're good. There we
go. I believe he was on a 2-year contract, right? So
yeah.
I believe that's correct, right? He was on a 2-year contract?
I believe so, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if that was a second-year option or not.
Okay, so yeah, it was a 2-year contract. He's unrestricted free agent. No, sorry, it was a 1-year contract, so he's not on the team.
Okay.
Not on the team. So obviously they're not bringing D'Onta Foreman back. He's not on the team.
Yeah.
I gotta resign him. But yeah, look, this is. I'm not too worried about the running back room. Like I'm not. Regardless of Fields or Williams, obviously you lose the running prowess of Fields, but Caleb Williams is still a great runner of the football. So regardless, you're going to get an aspect of that running game from the quarterback, no matter who it is. But this is a very, very, very well-rounded running back room with the bruiser and Roshan Johnson and the dynamic receiving back out of DeAndre Swift. It's going to be an incredible thing to see. Khalil Herbert's still around, a guy who can make good plays and hit the right holes and be a smart vision back out of that backfield. But no D'Onta Foreman. And look, if I had to guess, if they were to make any more signings, like I think Poles is not done. I don't think he's done with free agency. I believe that they were going to sign a defensive tackle. There's a couple guys left available. You're still talking about fringe depth guys. They missed out on all of their on all the guys that could potentially be starters, and Daniel Hunter and Christian Wilkins. Right?
Yep.
Like that market has passed, but there are some extra guys that you can still get. And Mike, I'm not going to be surprised if they still do go after another veteran wide receiver. If you do sign an OBJ to a $2 million contract for 1 year just to keep him around as a mentor, right? Like that's what you do in these situations now, and they now have the cap flexibility to still do those things. So I don't think Ryan Poles has done it. When you look at the remaining free agents around the NFL, and you look at some of the positions of need, I do believe Gervon Dexter is still a phenomenal option at defensive tackle.
Yeah,
blossoms into what we think he can be. But you look at defensive tackle. We talked about Chase Young, Calais Campbell. Excuse me, another one of those veteran guys who can step in there and be so I think someone said who Odell mentoring. That's hilarious. He can be an impact player and be a great mentor. Jadeveon Clowney, Emmanuel Ogba. So I think Poles is not done yet. A lot of the moves that he'll make from this point on are not going to be exciting or as exciting as it was tonight with Keenan Allen, but he's not done. And Mike, my phone's going to die. So much love, my boy. I appreciate you coming on BMP. I got to run out of here, and I actually got to eat dinner because I was making dinner when I got the news. So I got to still eat, my man. But love you, my boy. Stay good, all right?
Love you, brother. Go get that grub, my boy. It's a victory night. It's a good night to eat some food, man. It's a good night to get some grub, get some food in your body. Make sure you check out Kev on Bears Nation podcast or hit that follow button here if you're new here. Welcome to the community. If you guys have just joined, man, we're breaking it down, really talking about Keenan Allen. I was talking to my boy, actually, Mike Gamble, big time Keenan Allen fans, man, and we were breaking down what it's going to potentially look like if the Bears traded for Keenan Allen. To be honest with you, we kind of just said that once and then like moved on. We never said it again. It was never a conversation. I didn't think this was literally going to be a conversation we're having. I felt like Mike Williams was the guy that the Bears were potentially going to target, or even a Odell Beckham Jr. But I, in a million years, didn't see the Chicago Bears going after a guy like Keenan Allen because I didn't think Keenan was going to be available. It's interesting to me that they were willing to sacrifice Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and Austin Eckler in exchange for Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa, or Nick Bosa, whatever, the fucking Bosa brothers, whatever. It's interesting. It really is. And someone said we can still get Mike Williams. Like, it's definitely not in the realm of impossibility. You know what I mean? Like, Mike Williams right now is due $15 to $20 million from the Los Angeles Chargers. So he's not going to command anything more than likely a 1-year deal of $5 million or less. So I'm really excited about it. If the Bears could add Mike Williams, call us the Los Angeles Bears or the Chicago Chargers, because we got Mike Williams, Gerald Everett, and Keenan Allen. That would be absolutely insane. And it's only fair because they took Khalil Mack from us. So I'm excited about it, though, man. I think this is going to be potentially huge. What do you think about us getting Kendricks? I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Kendricks just signed with the Dallas Cowboys. Didn't Williams go to the Chiefs? I haven't seen anything about Mike Williams going to the Chiefs as of yet. I've only been doing not DJ Moore news. I've been doing Keenan Allen news for the last hour. Thoughts on Keenan Allen affecting the draft? I think it definitely does affect the draft. Now, here's what I will say. You're in a situation right now to where you're either going to draft a wide receiver in the later rounds, or you're going to draft one at either 9 or trading down the number 1 overall pick. I don't know if that's Marvin Harrison Jr., but I will say this. If you look at the draft order right now, the Arizona Cardinals basically told you that they're taking a wide receiver at number 4. They traded Rondell Moore today for Desmond Ridder. I mean, they basically traded him for a fucking bag of chips, and it wasn't Cool Ranch Doritos. This was more like Sun Chips. Like, this wasn't nice. Then you look at number 5. You have the Los Angeles Chargers, who just got rid of Gerald Everett, Mike Williams, and Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. So you need to go offense. You need to get an offensive weapon for him. That's another situation where you can go Marvin Harrison Jr., Rome Odunze, or Malik Neighbors. Then you look at number 6. It's the New York Giants. They're not going to get Caleb Williams, Drake May, or Jaden Daniels. Why would they go after J.J. McCarthy? You need that X factor at the amount of times they have fucked up the quarterback position. So that's my personal opinion. You know what I mean? So I think for those 3 picks in a row, could potentially go wide receiver. So at 9, guys like Rome Odunze, Marvin Harrison Jr., and Malik Neighbors might not be available. Are you willing to rock out with a guy like Keenan Allen, who, as much as I love him, as great as he's going to be in the short term, is injury prone and 32 years of age and relatively expensive? On top of DJ Moore, DJ is relatively, young as well, locked up for a couple years on the Bears organization on contract. So I'm excited about that. But I think at the end of the day, that should not hinder you from taking a wide receiver in the first round. If I am the Chicago Bears, Myself personally today, I would draft Marvin Harrison Jr. after trading down to 2 or 3. We have Marvin Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore with Cole Kmet, Gerald Everett, and DeAndre Swift, and you rock out with Justin Fields because you understand that you can have success with Justin Fields. Are you going to win a Super Bowl? I'm not sure. But if you give Justin Fields those weapons and a top 5 defense with Matt Eberflus at the helm and Shane Waldron as his offensive coordinator, there are zero excuses for Justin Fields. For Caleb Williams, the excuse is going to be he's a rookie quarterback and he needs to continue to develop, or they rushed him and they made him start in his rookie year, and that's why he didn't turn into who he was going to be. If you keep Justin Fields, you have zero excuses to say that the Chicago Bears are going to the NFC Championship and winning the division in 2024. If you go Caleb Williams, you have to slowly watch him develop and hope he can turn into who you want him to be. I'm not saying that's the right move. I'm saying as a GM, in my mind, as a couch GM, as a fan who sits on the couch every Sunday and has no NFL expertise, that is what I would do. Now, let me tell you this. If Justin Fields isn't the guy, that's perfectly okay. But give me a minute to find out. Let me see if Fields is the guy. Dallas Turner at 9, cooking. Dallas Turner and Montez Sweat would be a match made in heaven. Or even the kid out of Florida State. I think that's a perfect situation for either of them. What's Buddy's name from Florida State? It's Versay, I believe is how you say his name. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I just don't know how to pronounce. I've never heard it said. You have, okay, here's his name. I'm pulling it up. Jared Versay. Pardon me for being mistaken. And if I'm saying that wrong, someone let me know. Latua is also available and a bunch of other guys as well. I'm excited for what this means, man. But I'm about to get out of here. We're about to make content tomorrow morning and all day tomorrow and every single day leading up to the NFL draft and until the 2024 season. So make sure you hit that follow button if you haven't already. I would greatly appreciate it. If you already have, welcome to the community. We're going to be talking about the Bears all week, all day long. It's going to be a blast. Bear down, baby. Keenan Allen is a Chicago Bear. Until then, I will check you guys out later. This is Mike Hughes from The Shy Kid, or AKA Mike on the Mic. You can check me out on Instagram and on TikTok at theshy.kid. Until then, I'll check you guys out later. Bear down.